If you try to learn AI from scratch right now, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. Most of the advice you find online is either outdated theory or hype that crumbles away within months of being posted. The gap between the major models is closing. Whether you use ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, the capabilities have clustered so tightly together that the specific tool you pick matters less than it did a year ago. This creates a common dilemma. Users spend 10 minutes crafting hyper-specific, paragraph-long prompts, yet they still receive robotic, generic responses that don't quite hit the mark. The friction usually comes from starting at zero. Every time you open a new chat window, the AI has a blank memory, forcing you to re-explain your role, your preferences, and your goals from scratch. Because today's models are powerful enough to infer things like tone and format on their own, the perfect prompt is no longer the primary driver of quality. Success now depends on how well you can provide and systematize your personal context. We can evaluate any AI setup by looking at 3 distinct tiers, weighing the upfront setup friction against the long-term leverage you actually get back. On this effort versus impact chart, typing complex prompts sits in the high-effort, low-impact quadrant. To reach high impact, shift to preloading personal context, giving the AI rules once. This trade-off requires spending setup time today to gain compounding leverage later. Understanding where you sit on this scale is the only way to match your actual daily workload to the right level of AI complexity. Level 1 is the standard out-of-the-box chatbot experience you get with the free or paid versions of ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. The main rule here is to prioritize the paid tiers. Most companies default you to their weakest models because they are cheaper to run, so you have to manually select the most capable model to get the best reasoning. These premium models are smart enough to break down complex requests and catch nuances without you needing to use elaborate role-playing prompts or personas. This makes Level 1 ideal for one-off tasks, like a quick brainstorm or ad hoc web research. However, Level 1 suffers from total amnesia between sessions. Once you close the tab, the context is gone, making it inefficient for any professional work you do every day. It's a great starting point for casual queries, but an unreliable partner for repetitive, high-stakes workflows. Level 2 is the context tier. This is where you move away from empty chat boxes and into dedicated workspaces that remember who you are. Instead of long instructions, you use outcome plus context. Approved examples are uploaded directly, so the AI mimics your style. Tools like Claude Projects, Gemini Gems, or NotebookLM act as digital studios for processing your documents. Because context is pinned to the workspace, the AI automatically applies constraints to new queries. Your 45-minute workout project will never suggest an hour-long routine. The trade-off at Level 2 is that these workspaces are isolated. They act as data silos that cannot see or talk to each other. A fitness project won't know about health data stored in a separate medical project, even if those two things should obviously be connected. Level 2 is excellent for automating repetitive tasks, but it lacks the ability to spot patterns across different areas of your life or business. Level 3 involves building interconnected AI systems. This tier is for users who need to bridge those isolated data silos for more complex synthesis. This requires connecting your AI directly to where your data lives, like Google Drive, Slack, and email, or using technical frameworks like Claude Cowork. At this level, the system can cross-reference disconnected information. It can compare a travel itinerary in your email against a budget spreadsheet in your Drive to warn you if a trip is too expensive. These systems can also use a reconcile move to learn from you. By comparing its initial draft against the final edits you made, the system identifies your specific nuances and proposes new rules to follow for next time. The setup friction here is high. Tools like OpenAI's Codex are powerful, but they are often intimidating if you aren't comfortable with technical interfaces. As this matrix shows, you are trading simplicity for scale. Level 1 is instant but limited. Level 2 is organized but siloed. And Level 3 is interconnected but technically demanding. Level 3 is the choice for those who want their AI to compound in value the more they use it. To decide which level you actually need, you can follow a simple branching logic based on your weekly tasks. First, is your AI usage mainly for one-off tasks or for recurring work streams that repeat every week? If it's one-off work, stick to Level 1. Use a paid premium model and focus on your outcome rather than memorizing complex prompts. If your work is recurring, you have a second choice. Do these tasks need to cross-reference data from different parts of your life? If they don't need to talk to each other, Level 2 is the best fit. Spend a few hours setting up context workspaces today to save those same hours every week. But if your data must be connected to be useful, you need Level 3. It requires the most initial effort, but it's the only way to eliminate those silos. By matching the tool's complexity to how often you actually use it, you avoid both wasted effort and the frustration of generic results. Models will continue to change, but your personal data is constant. Learning how to organize that context is what allows these tools to scale with your work over the next decade. Look at your workflow today and pick the level of setup friction that actually matches your goals. If you find this valuable, please make sure to follow and subscribe. Rise Raise.